So we're here today as part of Glasgow Women on Wheels Festival, which is an amazing initiative run by Bike for Good. The aim of the festival is to encourage and inspire many new women into the sport and support those that have already engaged with cycling but maybe want to try a new discipline or learn some new bike skills. An engaging and jam-packed schedule with something for everyone regardless of where you are on your cycling journey. So today I am joined by Lucy Grant, who is a current GB track cyclist, and Liesel Hill-McManus, who was a participant in Glasgow Women on Wheels 2019 edition. So Liesel, welcome, and can you tell us about your involvement in the 2019 Glasgow Women on Wheels and maybe sum up in 3 words what the women can expect to participate in this year's edition?
Yeah, I found out about the festival through a cycling group that I'm part of called the Glasgow Girls, and through that I found out about the taster session, so went along to a couple and had a great time. 3 words, probably fun, great fun, experiences, lots of new experiences to try out, and just a laugh with some other women, had a great time.
Good, nice. Lucy, can you introduce yourself a little bit and give us a quick run through of your career and what you're up to at the moment?
I'm Lucy. I'm a track sprint cyclist. I am based up in Scotland out of the Chris Hoy Velodrome with the Scottish Cycling Performance Programme. I trained with the Great Britain cycling team for 2 years down in Manchester, which was great. And before that, I used to race cross-country mountain biking before I moved over to track.
Lovely. Okay. So, Lucy, what inspired you? Obviously, you started in mountain biking and you're now doing track. What kind of inspired you to get into cycling? How did you first get on a bike to start your career, I guess?
Well, I grew up in Peebles in the Scottish borders, and that's where I first started mountain biking. And just sort of down here, there's just loads of mountain biking, loads of hills to get out on. Like, it's just so many opportunities. So I was really fortunate with that. And I just completely fell in love with it. When I was about 7, I think I did my first cross-country race that was local, and that was just me completely hooked. So then I progressed up through various categories up to World Cup level, and I just got to race in some incredible places, meet some incredible people. And in 2016 I had an injury which forced me to have some time off the mountain bike, and I got into track cycling. And I had just planned on doing that for a few months and then going back to cross country, but I ended up enjoying track so much I continued with that. So that's where I'm at now.
I love that you went from, I did my first event at 7 and all of a sudden I'm doing World Cups at 16. What happened in between those? You just kind of progressed straight up that. Okay, Liesel, what was your experience before you of Glasgow Women on Wheels 2019? You said that you were part of Glasgow Girls, a cycling club, which is, I think that's road cycling. So what was your experience kind of before you tried a new discipline at Glasgow Women on Wheels?
I actually joined the Glasgow Girls in 2019 as well, because looking to get out and meet new people after having my son. Before, I've always been kind of like a leisure stroke fitness cyclist, sport of like mountain biking and things as a teen. Used to commute to work on a bike, and probably about 10 or 11 years ago I did coast to coast from Cumbria across the Gateshead.
Oh wow.
And I think about the clapped old bikes that we were on. I'm amazed we got up the Hart Hill Pass and all that sort of stuff, but just cycling for a bit of fun. And then since getting the Women on Wheels taster session at the Velodrome, just thought I'd go along because I'd seen it live and on the TV and just thought it'd be amazing to have a shot. And then got asked to go back and do accreditation. So I've done stages 1, 2 and 3 so far. The 4th one's on hold because of COVID at the moment, but because I just went along to the taster just to give it a go and see what it was like, and was instantly hooked on it. And then going to be honest, I wasn't prepared for what each stage. I think we all just kept turning up, and then the coaches would be like, kind of easing you so far through it that before you know it, you're up there in a group whizzing around and doing changeovers and things. And the way they slowly introduce new things, it just kind of fell into place. And there's a group of 4 of us women keep meeting up now and then we're heading towards the 4th accreditation whenever that may come. But we'll see how we get on. It's all a bit daunting, but it's so much fun.
Talking about changeovers, because I've never been on a track, so I don't know what a changeover is. Lucy, over to you. Can you talk us through the 2 disciplines that you do? So the track cycling in kind of real simple terms, and then the mountain biking, and what kind of, if women were going to jump on Glasgow Women on Wheels mountain bike session or track cycling session, what they could probably kind of expect.
Track cycling is indoors and you're on a wooden velodrome which is oval shaped with steep bankings. A normal track, like the standard Olympic track, is 250 metres long around the bottom, so obviously it'll be a bit longer if you're going around any other part. And the bankings are usually about 45 degrees steep, which seems really, really overwhelming, but on the bike that you're on, they have no brakes and you have a fixed gear. So when you pedal, you can't obviously stop pedaling, so you have to control it through how you're pedaling. But that speed helps you carry around the corners. So when you're on the corners or the bankings, it doesn't feel like you're going to fall off because you're just carrying on with your speed. So that's track cycling. And then when it comes to like sort of competing and stuff, you get endurance and you get sprint. Endurance can be anything from like 3k to 40k, whereas sprint will be just 1 to 3 laps long. So there's a lot of different things you can do on track, whether you want to go out and just go hard and fast for a short race, or if you want to go for longer. And it's just really good. It's a really good way to meet other people, ride with other people, and because it's indoors, you're not restricted by the Scottish weather.
So as a sprint cyclist, an elite sprint cyclist, what kind of miles per hour are you getting up to?
Probably our max speed's about 60k an hour from the standing, or a bit faster than that if you're coming off the top of the track. So as a sprint cyclist, most of the stuff we do is in the gym, whereas the endurance people are out on the road a lot more and stuff. So,
Liesel, I enjoyed your face there when Lucy said 60 kilometres an hour. You were, oh yeah, that's quite fast. So, okay, that's track cycling. So, Lucy, take us through the mountain biking. I'm assuming a little less speedy, but a bit more undulating.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think the mountain biking for the Glasgow Women on Wheels is at Cathkin Braes. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the course they built for the Commonwealth Games a few years ago. So that's pretty mega, and there's just a lot of variety there. Mountain biking is obviously off-road on purpose-built trails, and Cathkin's got a lot to offer with sort of loads of different options. You've sort of got easier options and harder options, and if you're doing a mountain bike competition, you'll be racing for sort of an hour and a half to 2 hours and 5 to 7 laps of like a shorter loop, and that's what Cathkin is. It's the shorter loop, and you go round and there'll be different sections on it. So there'll be technical sections like drop-offs and rock gardens, and then there'll be technical climbs and then descents and everything. So I think mountain biking is really good fun because you get to the top of the hill, you put in all the effort, and then you just get to enjoy going down the hill, which is great. So also mountain biking gets you outside in nature, but obviously you're then getting into all the weather as well. But once you get on your bike and you're getting wet and muddy, it really doesn't matter. So
amazing. Liesel, you've done a bit of road biking, you've done a bit of track cycling. Have you tried any other disciplines?
Yeah, in 2019 I also went along to a taster session at the Glasgow BMX Centre. I'd been to that live when the European Championships were here. It just looked amazing. They were so fast and flying through the air. So went along and just felt like I was a child again, just going around on the bikes whizzing and going up and over all the jumps. Obviously I wasn't in the air because it's not that crazy, but it was just so much fun again. And just the new skills you learn, because every discipline's different. You need to do completely different body movements and things like that, and learning about the BMX was great fun. Other than that, just a bit of road cycling in my spare time, and then a little bit of mountain biking, but obviously nothing extravagant.
So you've done pretty much tried everything except cycle ball. What would you say is your favourite discipline that you've tried?
The BMX was great fun, but I do think the velodrome's been my favourite. It's the one that keeps kind of pulling me back. And every time I go along, I get the butterflies of what am I doing? God, what if something happens or something? And then I come off at the end and I'm high as a kite, loving life because I just get such an adrenaline rush from it. And also the team aspect of it, because it's the same women that I've been doing it with through the accreditation. And the last time we met up, we were actually talking about how we'd missed the team aspect over the past 18 months not being able to go, because you don't realise the constant conversations and things and the concentration that you're doing. And then when you get something right as a unit, it's just, you just feel great about it. You just because it's not all just about you, you're helping each other and stuff. Yeah, the velodrome just keeps kind of pulling me back in a little bit. I've never been an endurance person. The sea to sea, I was just hangry a lot of the time, needing to eat constantly and sitting for hours cycling. I found that difficult, whereas going quickly around the track for a short amount of time with the power and stuff, yeah, it's more my cup of tea.
Could you tell me your one favourite moment from the Olympics? It can be cycling or otherwise. Lucy, we'll start with you.
I think I'd have to say my favourite moment was watching the BMX and watching Beth Shriver win the gold, and then obviously Kai as well coming second just before her. And I just think her emotions and just the way she did it, and it was just totally inspiring. And I know that it is cycling, so I'm biased, but it was just amazing to watch, and just the whole way that everyone came together, it was just really nice.
Fab. Liesel?
Yeah, I thought the BMX is great as well, a great introduction to the Olympics. But I think because I'm so fascinated with the velodrome at the moment, I have to say Katie Archibald and Laura Kenny doing the Madison, the way in which they won that, and it was just organised chaos. It was just incredible to watch. Amazing.
Fab. Yeah, I think if I watched the Madison, I'd be... There's so many different disciplines within track cycling, isn't there? They all have different rules and different distances and different tactics to win, strategies. It's quite complicated. Okay, Lucy, so obviously you started at a very young age and just kind of fell in love with doing anything on two wheels, as it were. What words of encouragement can you give young girls or women who want to kind of get into cycling? How would you encourage them to pick up a bike or go and buy a bike?
I would just tell them to, I think it's important to not worry about what kit you have or what gear you have. Just whatever bike you can get is absolutely fine, and that'll get you, and that's what matters. And that'll just get you out there to give it a go and have some fun. Try going out with your friends or to find a group near where you live and just go out with some like-minded people.
So what words of encouragement can you give to mums or mus out there, because you've got a child yourself, looking to get into cycling either for fun or fitness or competing? How would you encourage them to kind of get on two wheels?
Just give it a go. I mean, if you wanted to be competitive and strive to be like the next Sarah Storey or like Laura Kenny and be a top athlete and be a mum, then that's amazing. But if you want to be like Phoebe Buffet and ride through the park with tassels and bells on your bike, then good for you. It's not all about speed and lycra. Some clubs even offer bikes and lessons to help you learn how to cycle, because some people have never done it before or not done it since they were a child. And I guess from the mum aspect, it's tough being a parent, and sometimes I sometimes find it hard to set aside time for myself. And hopping on a bike can do wonders for your mind, body and soul. For me, it provides a bit of headspace. I'm concentrating on what I'm doing, what's around me, and it just gives me a bit of a break, because I'm just thinking about it in the moment and forget about everything else for a little while. If you can have a cuppa, a cake and a chat with others at the same time, then that's amazing. Or if you want to just ride through the park carefree for 10 minutes, then good for you. But cycling's really accessible, and yeah, just a great sport to be
The only reason you cycle, wasn't it, for cake and coffee? I thought that was the main purpose of cycling, or is when I cycle.
Actually features quite a lot. Even while you're cycling, sometimes you're having a bit of cake.
Although we're not condoning one-hand cycling and eating cake at the same time. So when your little boy, how old is your little boy at the moment? If you don't mind?
He's just over 3.5.
So is he already got a balance bike? Is it, how are you going to encourage your family and friends, or your little boy to start cycling as well?
Yeah, he's already too fast on the balance bike. So he's been on that since like he was 1, I think. Trying to move up now onto the big boy bike, get him into pedaling and things like that, trying to get a practice on that. But I don't know if it's laziness or what, but he prefers to just get on his balance bike and whiz around. And we also take him out on the back of the bike, on the chair. A lot of like my brother cycles for fun, and both my parents enjoy cycling and things as well. So it's definitely something I think my son will be getting involved in as he grows up as well.
Amazing. Okay, so I just want to thank you both for kind of joining me today and talking through your cycling experiences and your involvement in Glasgow Women on Wheels. I guess what I've learned is everyone's journey in cycling is different. We all access it a different way. We all use it in a different way, whether it's to switch off for like you, Liesel, or Lucy, for you to compete in. What I'd say is, for the people watching, go check out Glasgow Women on Wheels online. That is bikeforgood.org.uk/GWOW, just to see what opportunities there are for the rest of September to get involved in. There's also an Instagram page, which is at GWOWFest, and a Facebook page, so go check them out if